If you like our videos, subscribe and make sure you hit the bell so that you're notified of all our newest videos. We are in the middle of the San Fernando Valley, a nondescript industrial area that has a rich history in special effects and creature effects. Just around the corner from us was Apogee, the studio that did the original miniature work and visual effects for Star Wars. And also up the road was Stan Winston's studio for many years. There's also an airport right near us that you may be able to hear. So it is the heart of the San Fernando Valley, and in my opinion, it's the heart of special effects movie making. So today, we are at the studio of a very good friend of mine, someone I've known for many years, and someone who comes up in conversation occasionally. People often ask, what happened to Kevin Yeager? Kevin Yeager is the guy who, at a very young age, brought you Chucky from Child's Play, did defining work in the Nightmare on Elm Street movies with the Freddy Krueger makeups. The Crypt Keeper, he designed and created that. He's a director of movies. You may have seen his film Sleepy Hollow that Tim Burton directed. So we are going to meet Kevin. You're going to see what a Renaissance man he is and why I've been friends with him for going on 30 years. So come with me now. He's expecting us. This is all nonsense.
Alec!
Kevin!
I haven't seen you in what, 5 minutes?
It's as if you're expecting us.
Yeah.
Say hi.
Hey, come on in. You've been here one time before, right? Once or twice? Many times. Here's some projects that I just put up these about, 6 months ago. I'm lying. They've been up for years. There's some projects I've done. You know this guy over here, Chucky. Yeah. That we did this for a display from Child's Play 2. The sculpture was the Smiling Evil Chucky. That's what we called it. I want to change it from the original Child's Play, which was just a neutral face, into something that give it more of a grimace, so I wouldn't have to work so hard to make him look evil. So we were doing some paint tests, and that turned into a display.
What is that?
I don't know. I do some painting, and this was a painting that I decided to do with paddles only. No brushes were used. I used a crap load of paint, like tubes and tubes of black and white, and I gave myself a half an hour to an hour to paint each panel. So I just did it as a study. I took a picture of myself, actually, and then I photoshopped my stomach out to have a picture to go off of. So that's kind of me. And notice I kept away from any kind of private parts, because you wouldn't want to see that.
Speak for yourself.
Come on down here. We'll go. Do you want to see these? Have you seen these before? Okay. I did a children's book years ago, back in, I think it was 2000, 2001, and these were leftover characters from that book. And so they're just sculptures. My wife saw them and she said, you should do something with these. So I went back in and I created little scenes. And they're kind of elfy-like characters.
What are they, bugs?
Yeah, they're bugs that are pets. They're like pets that we know. They're, cockroach and a spider, a black widow and a dragonfly, and beetles and ants and ladybugs, things like that. And this is a shoe cobbler, my little shoe cobbler here. I made everything. I made the shoes, the case. I don't know why I do this. It's the model maker in me. You did this as a kid, right? You put models together, so.
But I left all that behind.
Yes, you did.
I don't know why you do this, Kevin.
It's just for fun.
I'm glad you do.
This was years ago.
No, it's amazing. It just I get exhausted looking at it.
Because
in here?
Yeah, come on in. Yeah, we're gonna go in here. Come on in.
So we're at your shop.
Here we are.
And I just wanted everybody to meet you and see what you got and what you do.
What do I do? What do I have?
What don't you do, Kevin? No, you truly are a Renaissance man. You do everything. You're like the Barbara Streisand of makeup. Because you direct, you sing, you dance, you do sing. And you act. You act.
Sing, act a little bit.
And but you're very hands-on, and you always have been.
Can we talk about what I'm acting in with you?
Yeah, why don't you tell the folks?
Oh, it's a little thing that Alec wrote called Playtime. And I have a little tiny part in a very small part. Very
But it's pivotal.
Too tiny of a part, really.
Well, it's pivotal. We'll get you going on. We have done some things before in the past. Kevin and I have collaborated on things that Kevin's directed, that we've co-written, that I've directed and written, Kevin starred in, and I'm going to show you some of those things because the guy is hilarious. He really is a super talented guy, and we always have a great time together. But we're going to talk a little bit about not just our history, but your history, because you've done a lot of things without me.
Yes, I have.
And why is that?
How come every one of them?
Why do you not call me more? What's the deal? That's the question. Where has Kevin Yeager been? We don't know.
I've been working. I've been working. Yeah. Really? I mean, doing effects for years and years. I mean, we started together back in 80. When was it? 85, 84, 85.
Yeah, something like that.
We worked on Friday the 13th Part 4 together. And I got some pictures I want to show you, but we'll get to that. And
why don't you just grab the pictures?
Okay. We started a long time ago together. Here's
yes.
a couple of pictures.
Okay, so Kevin and I were what year was it? I don't know. 84.
80. Yeah, I came out to LA in 83. It's 84.
Right. Yes. What was the project? You were working for Greg Canham.
Yeah, Friday the 13th Part 4.
That was the first?
That was the first time.
Oh, okay.
You came over to Greg's.
Right.
You drove all the way up from Orange County.
Yes.
It was a hot day. You had no air conditioning.
That's right.
I remember this, but you were just drenched in sweat.
Drenched in sweat. I remember that.
Yeah, you came up, and I was in the kitchen stirring gelatin.
You were cooking.
He was cooking in the kitchen because half his lab was in his house and half was out.
That was where Rick Baker used to live, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The same lab.
So that was the lab and the house where Rick did what, like It's Alive and
I think he did It's
Incredible
Alive
Shrinking Woman,
and then the octopus thing.
Yeah,
he did that.
And then so we used to tease Greg Canham, the very talented Greg Canham, who is a multi-Oscar winner, right? And Benjamin Button and what else?
Dracula.
Dracula, right? So super talented guy, and I was very excited to be interviewing with him because I thought, well, I've never been in this sort of this level of skill before, and then we used to tease Greg because he was a lot of fun. We'd tease him like, oh, you're like a hermit crab, right? Rick Baker moves out of one house and you moved into it.
And he ended up falling into his next shop.
Yeah, that's right.
He left that shop.
For Cocoon. Yes. So we worked together first on Friday the 13th, Part 4, and Greg left that show and Tom Savini came on.
Took over, yeah.
Right. And do you have a picture of Tom Savini and us here? Where did that go?
Well, here's the one I do have.
Right. So that's
Tom had a good sense of humor.
Great sense of humor.
And he had a bunch of eyeballs. He had a ton of eyeballs that he like fake eyes, glass eyes, right? And so we put them all in our.
And there's John Vulich, who passed away young. That's too bad. Me, you, and Larry Carr up there. Yeah, that was fun. I always felt a little.
What there? What was that?
That was this face, right? So I always felt bad about the way we treated Tom, at least initially.
Really?
Yeah. Did you not feel that way?
I thought we treated him well.
Maybe it was just me.
Does he talk bad about us?
No, he loves us.
What does he say?
And I love him.
Does he say something about?
Never. Your name never comes up. No, I don't. It's not like I talk to him all the time. But when I have. I think because we sort of cleared the air, because originally, I was working for Greg Canham, because he was kind of like, he came in, Greg left, and he came in, and we were like, Tom Savini, this was a Greg Canham show, and I was designing like little Tommy's creations and stuff. It must be hard for
them to come into a show.
It was.
It wasn't his, and we all knew Greg, and everybody liked Greg, and suddenly we got a new daddy, and he comes in, and he's taking over the family.
Exactly, and he was not from. He had never worked in Los Angeles before, so he was asking questions like, "Can you get acetone?" And I think in my naivete or just I was just a kind of a brat, and I was like, "Of course you can get acetone." I thought I was always nice to him, but I just had this sort of feeling that like we had stepped down or something, and that's a shame because Tom had, as he explained to me, and where I realized I was being silly about it, was that he explained to me how he was self-taught. He always wanted to work on Hollywood movies, but he was in Philly, right? Was he from Philly?
Yeah, I think so.
And so Pittsburgh, right? Of course, George Romero and all that. So Hollywood came to him, but then he was in the situation of like, now I got to figure out how to do this stuff and how to actually. So a lot of his techniques were self-taught and genius stuff.
Absolutely.
Still, there's stuff that we use today that I talk about blood squibs with buttons, button pulls and
the cutout. Someplace I have a picture of me with the cutout knife. we'd cut the
Yeah, do you have
half
that
moon shape.
picture?
It's over there someplace.
Okay, but yeah, he was just, and he's so fun and self-effacing. Remember his trampoline video?
Yes, where he ends up on his head.
Yeah, he's jumping.
And he's proud to show everybody.
He's proud because it's hilarious. Yeah, and he landed right on his head, and so that I really came to respect him for that.
And he was a fun guy. Had a great sense of
great guy, and he let us do stuff too.
Yeah.
He let you do the lead application.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he came in.
That's pretty amazing.
Jason was essentially his design from the first film. So Jim Cagle sculpted the appliances, and I got to apply them, and he let the thing happen. He could have come in and said, "I'm here now.
Yeah.
Thank you, son. Step aside." It was only 20, maybe 21.
21.
I think it was 21 and a half. Something.
Yeah.
And he let me do that, and a couple other effects too.
Yeah. And I got to sculpt this.
You get to sculpt that.
Is it? Oh, look at that. Oh.
Here's where you're sculpting it, and here's where you're doing it with your mouth.
Yeah.
So good you could.
I could sculpt. I was bored back then.
The tool in your mouth.
Yeah, I had to give myself a handicap. But that's little Tommy's creation from. I don't know if you can see that. From Tommy was played by Corey Feldman, right? Who was probably 9 years old.
Yes.
And so that was one of his creations, and so I did that mask.
And that's famous now.
It's
Instagram famous.
It's a pop subcultural kind of like little culty thing.
Still have the mold for this?
No, I didn't get that mold. But so then after Friday the 13th, which we could talk about, there's Ted White and you applying. Look at you, look 2 years old. Ted White loved you, didn't he? I remember that. There was a couple times where somebody else had to apply it.
No,
and he was like, "Where's the kid?"
Really?
Really?
I don't remember that. No.
Oh.
I thought I played all the time. Maybe.
I think you did.
I think I did too.
I misspoke.
One time I came to set and I got there at 7:30, and he had been there since 6:30 because he had the wrong call. So he had a 6:30 call, he had a 7:30 call, and he thought I was late. So this guy's a tough old cowboy.
Worked with John Wayne, doubled for John Wayne.
And he came in and just read me the riot act. I thought I didn't do anything wrong. I said, anyway.
But then,
all the respect in the world for him.
He
was frightened to death of it.
Frightened to death, as we all were.
He was Jason.
He was Jason, but there was he realized it or something. I feel like he came back and said, "I was wrong."
He did. Somebody told him, and he apologized.
Yeah, that's pretty great, and he's still around. I see on Instagram him and Judy Aronson, who we killed Judy Aronson, right?
Stabbed her.
We also killed
I got a
Ted.
picture of that someplace.
And I see pictures of them together. They both look the same.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little shorter.
He's a little shorter now, is he?
Super tall.
Oh, he towered.
Yeah, he towered. No, he's a little shorter. And then we did, was it?
What would it be?
Well, this makeup on you.
Yes, historic makeup. If you're not aware of this makeup, this is going to blow your mind.
That's an makeup.
So Kevin was 22 years old, and he says, "Hey, I want to do." This was while we were working on.
We did Cocoon first. No, we did.
Yeah, because you took my head cast on Friday the 13th.
Okay, so this was, and then
you said, "I think I could make a good old age makeup on you."
I wanted to do a bum, or there's a
bum.
Is that PC to say bum anymore?
A homeless.
Homeless person. Yes, I'm sorry.
But do you remember your philosophy about it? Because what Dick Smith was doing at the time, this was a sort of a reaction to Amadeus and stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you told me, you said Dick Smith. Obviously Dick Smith's stuff was incredible, right?
Yeah.
But you said, I want to do something different. I don't want to I want to do a grungy, dirty.
And maybe I think it was inspired a little bit by that. Because,
you were, yeah.
F. Murray Abraham had that.
He had the scruffy.
Yeah, scruffy looking face, acne scarred.
Yeah.
And
now, what don't you like about Murray Abraham? Because I heard you just said F. Murray Abraham.
Oh.
What don't you like about him?
Isn't that his name? What does it stand for?
I don't know. Fred? I don't know.
Frank Reynolds.
So
sculpted this. You took your life cast and sculpted this makeup on you.
Yeah.
And these were a couple of the stills that were done.
It's great. We were out in what park?
Latex.
Magnolia Park or something in Burbank?
Yeah,
Is that where it was?
Or if it was
North Hollywood. You're right.
Yeah.
And we shot a little video of this, which is on the YouTube channel.
And he's very good. He's a really good actor. And your brother wrote the...
Yeah, he wrote a bunch of dialogue for us, and we just walked around.
What is it? The blocks. When they're going to make the ice in...
It was sushi. Why do they call it sushi?
When they call it sushi.
They just call it
cup
raw
of coffee.
fish.
Why can't I get a cup of coffee?
For a nickel.
The strange thing is, now I look like this. So thanks a lot, Mister. But it was when I remember when you did this, and then a couple of years later, when you came into Stan Winston. Do you remember Stan Winston, Dick Smith,
It was a month or two later I came in.
Was it really? Because I was working for Stan.
Yes.
So that was.
Did you leave Stan's before you went over?
Oh, maybe you just did the head cast on
I remember coming in
Friday the 13th, and then it took
pictures.
Did it take you forever to do this?
What do you mean?
to do this makeup? Did it take you a long time from head cast to application?
I think so it could have been a year after that.
Okay.
This may have been pre or
You were 22.
I was.
You were 22 when you did this. It was amazing.
23,
Yeah, just amazing.
But and I punched all the hair, which I don't think many people had done that before.
Right, including the facial hair.
Yes.
All the beard stubble was punched in, and I remember Dick Smith.
Yes.
And Stan Winston going, "Get out! That's a real guy."
Yeah.
Stan was going, "I can't wait. You punched these." Like no one had thought to punch an appliance.
Yeah,
before.
and I
Is
thought
that
it was
right?
crazy when I was doing it too. Like, what am I doing? Because I thought if I mess this appliance up on you,
Yeah.
I can't start over.
Right.
If I do, you're going to be.
I will say it was uncomfortable to wear.
Was it?
Yeah, because it was pokey.
Oh.
You had like latex
put
the back.
latex in
You
it.
did,
Yeah,
but it was still like
looked-
it was still pokey.
But now look at your face.
I know. There really is no difference
Yeah.
now. I go.
It's the same fucking thing.
But anyway, that's the one that blew everybody away. You were in Fangoria, right?
Yes.
You got a lot of attention for it.
Yeah.
Is that what then? I know this is what got you work at Stan Winston.
Yes, that got me a job at Stan. Stan, in fact, after I showed Jim Cameron and Stan this picture, he ran out of the parking lot. I was in my car driving away.
Yeah.
Get me.
Oh, offer you
Stopped
right
me,
there, yeah.
And he said, "What are you doing Monday?" I said, "I don't know." He goes, "You're working here." And I said, "Okay."
Yeah.
So I said, I said when I came in, but the first day I came in, I said, "Listen, I got this little thing called Nightmare on Elm Street 2 that I may or may not do. If it goes through for me, I'm going to have to leave. I can only be here for 3 or 4 weeks." He said, "That's okay."
Oh, okay.
Later, he didn't like it so much when I had to leave because it did go through for me, and that was my first solo picture.
So I remembered it different. I tell the story differently.
Oh, okay.
Tell
What's your
the
version? Maybe I'll like that better.
My version is that I sculpted this appliance.
Oh, really? And applied it yourself? I was happy to work at Stan's.
Yeah, he was a good guy, wasn't he? It was fun.
I got to know
Shane, Tom Woodruff,
all the guys
John
from
Rosengrant,
Legacy, yeah.
Rick Lazzarini was over
Yes,
there.
And I sculpted on the big drone.
Oh yeah,
The big drone legs.
yeah, right. Everett
You
Burrell
and Tom
was
were
there.
working on the Supreme Being, I remember.
That's right.
It's all coming back now.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
That was and then I had to go, and then I got the call that you've got the picture, and I had to leave.
Yeah.
And I went in, and Stan had to kind of take me into the room and tell me that, he was just trying to show he had lost Dave Miller the year before to Nightmare on Elm Street 1.
Oh, is that
So
right?
he wanted to make sure that his whole crew didn't start exiting. He kind of told me, he shared that with me a little bit.
Oh, he was like, I can't have an
Yeah.
exodus
He
of
said,
people.
just stay in here with me for a while. The guys will be a little bit,
Did he say like how many Nightmare on Elm Streets are they making?
Yeah,
I'm going
right.
to lose all my crew.
Yes.
Huh. Okay.
So, but he was fine. We parted ways, and he recommended me for a lot of stuff. I ran Alien Skins, Facehugger Skins.
Oh, you did. That's right. That's right. While we were in London.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we did Cocoon prior.
Oh yes, we skipped over Cocoon. That was
So
for
we did
Greg Cannon.
Yeah, we did do Cocoon.
We did that. We were
prior
on
to
a-
you going to
Yes.
that. Okay.
So we were on Cocoon for a good long time together,
Yes,
I
yeah.
believe, weren't we?
How long?
Man, months and months,
yeah.
right? It seemed
And you
like
went
it.
to Florida with me, right? Did you go to Florida?
No, I did not go to Florida.
I ended up. I have a picture. somewhere.
You did applications in the pool and all that.
Yes.
Oh, you got the
I did,
glowing
yes.
hand.
That was sort of
Yeah.
my effect, I think. And
Yep.
We did a test with you in a
Yeah.
pool.
Also on the Studio ADI free channel.
Yes.
But you see how much more you get on the ADI premium channel. You get shit like this.
It's an intimate talk.
Yeah. So you won't see this on the free channel.
I burned him. I had built this.
That actor is
Remember that?
Brian Dennehy. Yeah.
This was a picture. I think you may have taken this picture.
Uh-huh.
I walked underneath a vent. It was flickering with the sun coming down. I was hitting a spot on the floor. And as I walked through, I think you noticed. I'm pretty sure you noticed. You went, "Hey, stop!"
Oh.
And everything was fluttering on. And this had Scotch light on it.
Yeah.
Little beads. And it just glowed. And so
Yeah.
I said, "Hey, take a picture." So you snapped this picture. And believe it, you did it. And then, so anyway, this had a hot projector bulb inside
Yeah.
of it to light it up for the actual movie.
Yeah, remember it was
Put it
the,
on him here.
and you burned him with the projector bulb.
I did.
See, nowadays it would just be LEDs.
I know. That would be CGI's.
Oh, that's true. What am I saying?
But yeah, that was Wendy Cook. She was my girlfriend.
Yeah, and she was the lead alien,
Yeah,
wasn't
she's
she?
leading. And so I did her makeup, and then I got to do this. And
What a nice
Brian
on-set
liked her a
woman.
lot.
Did he?
Yes, he liked her
Well.
too much. But no, I'm kidding. Anyway, so as I was over a plank over the whole pool, and I had the projector bulb, and I had to wave. The arm was stiff, so I
Right.
had to give it motion by doing this left and right. Like
Right.
Right.
And it
And
hit
as I
him.
did that, I just touched him with the pipe, which got super hot, and I burned him. And he would just go, "Yeah, it's okay, keep going, keep going."
Oh.
So and he was matching the movement with his other hand.
Right.
So he was doing that.
Yeah, it was very effective.
It's very stoic.
And do you remember the Kirin beer ad? We were looking at it because Greg was trying to say, well, how can I make, what do I got to put lights in this thing and all that. And then we were at a sushi place, and they had a Kirin beer thing with a light, a light bar on top. Yeah, and it was like, look, wherever it's sandblasted. Yes. You can see the light, so then that's how that was the evolution.
Yeah, that's right.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
And it
was clear.
Yeah.
Because the light had to travel through it, but we frosted it with the beads of the Scotch light.
I think we just ended up sanding it because I think the Scotch light was a first thought.
I still have them, by the way.
You do?
I still have these.
Well, let's look at it.
I will bring them out.
Because I'd be surprised if there was Scotch light beads because that's a reflective thing. And see if this was Scotch.
You're right, but I don't think it was.
Oh, that's interesting.
Now that I think about it, we did put something Scotch light on it. I don't know if it was.
Maybe it was Scotch Bright.
Maybe, yeah, it was something. No, it wasn't Scotch Bright. I think it was.
Because like if this is weird because this is just the light from above hitting it.
Yes. It's
okay.
Sunlight.
That's why it's reflecting on you.
Yeah.
Like Scotch light wouldn't reflect on you like that. It would just bounce straight. Anyway,
you're right.
The point is, it was a practical effect.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun, and it was very exciting to be brainstorming that stuff while drinking Kirin beer.
Sure.
By the way, studioADI Premium is looking for sponsors. Kirin. So, anyway, so Cocoon, and then we covered the your Stan Winston weeks.
Right.
I was there for years.
Yes.
You were there for weeks. And then you went on.
You got a way to come help me.
That was on Trick or Treat.
Yeah, and when do we do that?
That was I was done with Aliens at that point.
Okay.
Came back from. So that would have been 86.
Yeah.
87, 86 maybe.
I want to say 85, 86.
Yeah, 86. And then we were in Wilmington, North Carolina for that.
I had a little tiny shop. Do you remember my shop? It was
behind the photography.
Yeah, it was a photography studio.
Yeah.
It was a little tiny, 2 rooms.
David White Photography.
Yeah.
Right behind David Aloysius White.
Yes.
That was a different guy. David Aloysius White was your drama teacher.
My drama teacher in high school.
Show them the how we would introduce.
No, I'm not going to show them.
Why not? It was so funny.
I have to get up and do it.
No, you can just do it as a seated position. You got a microphone. You can. He would introduce Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet. Yeah, he came out to introduce the play.
And how would he do that? He was this high school.
I can't remember.
He was your high school drama teacher, and he loved drama.
He would give the whole speech. The 2 families, each one from whatever the heck it is. And at the end, he would do this thing where he would grab a big thing of wind and just wrap himself down to the ground. He'd take him from all the way down to the ground.
And he would actually just collapse on the ground. Didn't you say that every performance would get more and more outrageous?
This is one chance, and I was a teacher, so you got to be on the stage again.
David Aloysius White, the third. Mm-hmm. And then we named a character after him in Roadhogs later.
We did. Oh yes.
David Aloysius White.
Oh right.
Because it's a great name. It's a very theatrical name.
Yes, Aloysius.
But let's see. So I helped you on Trick or Treat, but you did after your what's the Nightmare on Elm Street?
2. Yes.
2.
Finished that.
Yeah.
Waiting for 3 to start.
Waiting for 3.
And then I did a film called Retribution. I did a lot of little low budget films.
Mm-hmm.
I think I helped out Stan run some things for something else. I think.
Right. Probably.
And then I did this.
Yeah.
Which was
Trick or Treat.
Which you worked on.
Trick or Treat.
And you painted this guy.
Not entirely.
Not all of it, no.
No?
I think I painted a head and you. But this was, I think, your idea. All the blue stuff, the frog stuff.
Yes. What I recall, and you may have a different memory, was that I had this idea to base it all blue and then let the blue come through in the cracks. And I was trying to work fast because I thought you would not like seeing a sky blue creature.
Right. But it wasn't going to be all sky blue, was it?
Okay. No, it was going to have.
Was this always the plan?
Yeah, that it was going to have the crack show.
Because it scared me when I came in. It was baby blue.
I probably didn't. I probably didn't put it in a context. Because I remember we were looking at dinosaur paintings, and we'd go, look how there's there's like yellows under the. It's like how do we do some cool color stuff and make it? But that was Skizix, right?
And this was pre-Gremlins, the first one.
No, I don't think so.
No. So it had a gremlin-y feel to it.
Right, but I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
But what was fun about that was that it was an animatronic head. It was a chance to do an actual character that was a puppet character.
Vodka.
And it was just fun. And I had a great time because we had just done Aliens. Yeah. I remember I remember, was that, did I come back? Like, I was probably talking about, yeah, on Aliens, we did this and that, blah, blah, blah.
So.
No,
you
never?
describe yourself as a kind of a jerk. I thought you were a nice guy.
I feel like I was kind of a jerk. You and I had an argument on this show.
Yes, we did.
Do you remember it?
Yeah, I do. And
What's your version?
Okay, here's my version.
Because I'm still not over this.
Obviously. Alec would steal from me every day.
Go on.
I'm kidding. No, I just remember I wanted you to be my foreman.
Yeah.
And I needed to rely on you for that. And I remember, you love to talk and have a good time. I mean, like anybody does in a shop. And I think you were falling back more on kind of that at times. Like
yes,
Everett Burrell was the guy who was there.
Because I hadn't worked for you. We were
we were
friends. Yeah.
And I remember you said that we're buddies, man. And it was 1 o'clock. It was really late.
Yeah.
It was really late, so I was tired. You were tired, and we were falling behind. Of course, my schedule, maybe to yours in your mind, it was fine, but to me, I felt we were going to.
Yeah, there was tension.
There was a lot of tension. There was for running shows, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as they say, the crap runs downhill. So if I'm feeling it, you're going to feel it, or whoever whoever's under, you're going to feel it. So I remember getting upset, that we weren't moving fast enough, and we got into an argument. And I remember saying, you need to, be my foreman. You need to, crack the whip, help me. I only had 2 other employees, I think, total. So it wasn't.
Which puts it, but it does put it more. When you have a small crew, it's not like you can just say, go home and get some sleep, pal.
Right.
And
you were a funny guy, so I think you kept everyone laughing. He's a very funny storyteller, but he couldn't stop telling the stories.
Oh, so I was wasting time.
Yes.
There's
time pirate, we call you.
Oh, there's another aspect of this you may not remember.
Yes, and then I remember.
You do remember? Go ahead.
No, maybe I don't. But then you kind of cried out, I'm your buddy. Like, why are you yelling at me?
What I remember, the crux of it was, I don't remember the part about me wasting time and distracting.
I didn't say you wasted time.
I'm joking.
You just maybe distracted others because they loved to hear
Steve
your stories.
Johnson was asking me about my availability.
Oh.
And I was saying I have a chance to go work for Steve Johnson. And I was kind of like
He's
saying...
better than Kevin Yeager.
No, that's not at all what I was saying. I was saying like, I don't know, though, Stan's going to start up again. And so I was like talking about these things with you that I think sounded like I wasn't really focused on your job.
Maybe that's what triggered it.
Maybe, and that, but because you did say that I need you here, I need you to run this fucking right, and then I said, by the way, Stan Winston says hi. How does it feel? Because it's the same. You bailed on Stan Winston. No, I'm kidding. That part didn't happen at all. But there was that, and it was all the ugliness that comes out when you're stressed.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock in the morning, and it's early in your career, and you do only have a couple of guys you can count on, and so you can't. Nobody can. You have to stay focused.
Ultimately, I mean, you don't know what you're learning as you go.
But it was a great moment because we both just went like, I'm sorry, man, and we hugged and made up, and then we got back to it, and then we went to Wilmington, and that was a lot of fun.
It was fun. And then you took over the makeup for me.
You let me apply Sammy Kerr's makeup.
Tony Fields, right?
Tony Fields,
Yeah, he's a character.
He was a character. Where did he come from? Was he a stage?
Dancer. He was one of the dancers in Thriller, which is one of my first things when I came out.
Did you meet him on?
Yeah.
Okay, so you worked on Thriller.
I worked on Thriller, yeah.
They might want to know that. That's something we skipped
on Thriller.
over.
I got to be in it. Rick Baker asked me to. He said, I hear you're a Michael Jackson fan, which I was a huge Michael Jackson fan. I had an Off the Wall album signed by Michael back in Dayton, Ohio.
What about the jacket? Didn't you have a jacket?
No, just the album.
Oh, you didn't have a red jacket?
No, it wasn't that. The Michael Jackson. No, but I was a big fan, and and so I was just helping Greg Canham at the time, working on one of the dancer makeups. And then Rick walked up. He's always been nice like that, to me, and said, hey, you're a big fan of Michael's. Would you like to be in the movie or in the short or the video? And I said yes. And so next thing you know, he said, go by the trailer, get fitted for a mask, and I was this green guy with moss coming out of his face. And it was a funny story because I was standing there again admiring Michael Jackson. I was in the scene where they were all closing in on Michael and Ola Ray. We saw us start moving in. And I'm right next to Tom Hester. We were all together with Tim Lawrence was there.
Yeah. As Tor Johnson.
Yeah. We all start moving in, and then John Landis called cut, and I just stood there staring at Michael Jackson because he was amazing. I mean, off camera he was like a little kid full of energy, but as soon as that music started, he became magical. So I was just staring at him, and I'm stopping. Everyone goes back to position one. Michael's just sitting there. I think they called lunch, and everyone kind of spread. Because I remember being alone with him for a moment, and I'm just staring about 20 feet from him, 10 feet from him, and he starts staring back at me, and I'm going, he's looking at me. Michael Jackson's looking at me. Of course, I'd forgotten that I had this horrific mask on with this moss coming out of my mouth. And I started spooking him, and he just kind of like looked over and then kind of tried to run over to his makeup girl and
Right.
was doing his makeup. And
That's funny.
I want him removed from the set. But that was a blast, yeah.
That's neat. So did you dance in the show?
No, I didn't dance. No.
Oh, you just acted
in
like
my
a
head,
zombie?
Yeah,
Oh.
I just did.
But you're a good dancer.
I am?
I recall that
Okay.
about you, being
All
a
right.
very good
Get some
dancer.
footage of me dancing?
We might have some that will break out later. Yeah.
Okay. We'll see.
Now you are a really good dancer. You're a very good physical performer.
Yeah.
And in fact, I can remember when In Living Color came out and we saw Jim Carrey, and I called you. Do you remember? Or
Yes.
I said, that guy is completely ripping you off.
Because I did this.
Well, all of your mannerisms and characters and all that stuff was so. I don't know.
I can't do what he does with the paddle, the eyebrows, and the. And he does E.T.'s impression.
Well, it's good though because when someone makes such an impact as Jim Carrey did, it's
Yes.
probably good that you fundamentally change your personality.
Right. Yes.
Because although I don't know, I get Mel Gibson a lot, so I'm sticking
Yes.
with that. I'm going to stick with that one.
Okay, so the history of Kevin Yeager
Yes.
continues.
What after? We were Thriller. We're Trick or Treat.
And that
At
was
what
our
point?
last film together, as far as working together, wasn't it?
Yeah. At what?
Except for when we moved into doing directing and
Right.
things like that. Yeah.
But Child's Play must have come pretty much on the heels because I was working for Stan.
I did Nightmare on Elm Street 3. The
Oh, okay.
Dream Warriors.
And that's the one with the snake
yeah, that's
swallowing.
kind of my favorite of all. That's
Yeah.
for me my
A
favorite.
lot of creative stuff. That was the one with the hot chick with the Freddy Krueger head.
You're
too?
right, yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of weird stuff in that. That was
sorry,
good.
The tongues that wrapped around the kids'
Yeah.
ankles and pulled them across the bed.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I had done that, and then I finished that, wrapped that up, and I moved shops. And Rick Baker again had recommended me for Child's Play, and they had Chris Walas on. Did you know this story? Chris Walas. I got some pictures too. Chris Walas' first Chucky.
Really?
They gave to
I've
me.
never heard that.
Yeah, that he was on for a while. Did a couple of tests.
Really?
Yeah, and then I don't know what happened. I just the next thing I know, David came over to the shop. I plugged in the Freddy snake.
Yeah.
I was able to make him his first fully animatronic face I had done. It was about this big, and pretty large.
Yeah.
And animated it for him, and pretended that it would say a line and
Right.
mimic it. And so to him, he saw a fake head talking.
Yeah.
And that's what did it, I think.
Yeah.
And then he gave me the show. And then I got really scared because I had this.
Right.
Talk about pressure.
Oh, my God.
I don't think I yelled at anybody on that one, but
We have some testimonials,
footage.
archival footage.
I'm a screamer in Italian. So are you.
Wait, let me.
Kids are.
No, I'm not. Backing up to the Chris Walas stuff, because I've never heard that before. You have pictures of a Chris
Yes.
Walas? Really?
Yes, buried someplace.
Interesting. What did it have red hair?
It was a redhead. I believe it was redheaded. Yeah, a little beefier looking, and quick. It was done as a quick test,
Right.
And I don't think it was an animatronic.
Oh, okay.
It was just stills.
Oh, okay.
They did a little mock-up.
I see,
of
I
it, but
see.
it was a design.
How interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
So,
Okay.
And then I started Child's Play.
So the snake from Nightmare 3, it was fantastic. It was gorgeous, and I remember it had lip movement.
Have you seen it
and-
recently?
No,
Don't
is
know.
it still around?
I don't know if it holds up. No, I mean.
Oh, the movie.
No, the movie.
Really?
I got it on the wall over there.
I mean, the great thing about that is that it's all sort of like in your mind, and it's fantasy. So all
Yes.
that stuff could be a little weirder.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
You worked on one of them too.
Oh, that's right. I worked for Rick Lazzarini. Was that 2 or 3? 3.
two.
Two?
That was two.
I moonlighted at Rick's shop, and I think we did some rat puppets or something. But that is of no consequence.
Yes. Dog faces.
Huh?
Human heads on dogs.
No, I think you've got a different. That was Mel Gibson.
was,
Mel
yeah,
Gibson did
seven
that
others,
work.
okay.
Who mechanized the snakehead? Dave Nelson? Was Dave Nelson?
No, it was Dave Kinlan
Dave Kinlan.
and Steve James.
Steve James, 2 solid guys who had been at Stan's.
It had been Stan's.
Right. It was nice because there was that sort of
Yes.
like loop of
Very-
people.
Very small. Remember the parties? We'd have Halloween parties. There
Yeah.
were like only 20 people in the business.
Yeah,
It was a
yeah.
very small group of people. Everyone
Yeah.
knew everybody. I mean, I was over at Steve Johnson's all the time.
Yeah.
And then Rick Baker was there. Everybody
Yeah,
was
his
there.
parties were always a lot of pressure, Steve's, because like Rick Baker's going to be there,
Yeah.
and then God forbid some rumor would start that Rob Bottin was going to be there, and then I remember that's when I stopped going all out
Yeah.
on Halloween costumes because I would turn into
shot
a.
of us, you, me, and Dave Miller, and going.
Oh, really?
Halloween party.
Oh.
I'll dig that up too.
Dave Miller was in the same room with you
Yes, he was.
after.
We're fine.
Huh? Are you? I know. You guys are wonderful.
Just not together. No, I'm kidding. Funny that
wait a minute.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Well, oh yeah, this was the same time. Right.
This was a Halloween. It was a costume.
That was amazing.
And I Earl Ellison, do you remember Earl?
Yeah.
Earl did one as well.
Yep.
So we have these two sort of warrior.
Yeah.
Can you see that? Okay. Two warrior guys, and this was a full sort of suit, very much like
Mm-hmm.
The Walking Dead kind of thing.
Yeah.
And we went to a bar. Hearing that Rick was going to be there, Rick is that way too. When he does makeup, he wants to share with everybody, like a bunch of kids. So we did this. Got ourselves all made up with our girlfriends, all made up, and we went to this. I think it was the Palace or something in Hollywood, and he didn't show up.
Oh.
So we went to his house at 2:00 in the morning and knocked on the door.
Really?
Yeah, which he doesn't.
Did he answer the door?
Find that out now.
Did he answer the door?
No.
Oh, he was just asleep.
Actually, it was maybe 1:00, and he was probably out partying himself.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Wow.
But we knocked on his door because we just had to say we made this. Half the reason we did this was to show Rick.
Yeah, that's enthusiasm though. How could he not like that if he were to, right? What I remember about that again was like every time you would do something, it felt like you were trying to push the boundaries.
Yeah.
You were trying to do something that hadn't quite been done before. And I remember you had a vacuform, I think, underneath it.
Yeah.
So it was
to be able to move the face. So it was like I would mechanize it with my own muscles.
Yeah.
So it would hold its shape.
Yeah.
So it wasn't. I could also put it on and take it off.
Yeah.
And it would hold it.
And the same thing with it was sort of like bas relief ribs.
Yes.
But what was great about that was that
skin over is separate.
Yeah, that was what's always been so great about your stuff is that it's bold, but you keep it subtle. So like these ribs, you avoided the temptation of just having big holes and making this all bones exposed. You have a skin over it that's rotten that allows you to peek through to make you go, what? Am I seeing depth in that? That's crazy.
And the same thing with the nose. I mean, you can kind of see.
Yeah.
There's black. My nose is right there. You can see the nose.
It's very effective though. And then you had white contact lenses?
No.
What were those? Oh, shells.
Those are shells.
Because he didn't blink.
That's right.
That was the other creepy thing. He didn't blink. That was great. Fantastic.
So anyway.
So then, speaking of breaking new ground, and when I was at Stan's, and I don't know what we were working on, Monster Squad, or I don't know what we were doing, but maybe we had done Pumpkinhead.
I came on.
Did you?
Yeah, for a day on Monster Squad.
What'd you do?
Werewolf Hair with Stan.
Oh.
You were there.
Stan loved you.
Yeah.
Stan was always bringing in. He loved you. Yeah. And I was there.
I don't know if you were there that day. I don't remember.
Was I talking too much and distracting
Probably.
people?
Telling stories.
But I do remember when Stan was going to do a gnome named Norm. So this would have been after '87 because I think Pumpkinhead came out in '87. Did it? I don't know.
Yes, I think you're right.
Okay. So I said you got to get over there and look at what Kevin's doing because he's doing this little doll, this animatronic doll.
Towards the end of our prep on Child's Play.
That's right. And so so I had Stan come over along with some other the other guys just to look at here's what he's doing because it really was state of the art. It was nothing like that.
Well, I got everybody from a film called Mac and Me. Do you remember that film?
Yeah.
It was a
terrible movie.
Yeah, it was.
There's a kid in the wheelchair that
McDonald's funded.
Wasn't it the kid in the wheelchair that
so.
always gets lampooned by Jimmy Fallon or somebody or Jimmy Kimmel?
I don't think Jimmy Fallon was alive back then. He may have.
There's always like, the kid going off down.
But so I got crew. Al Coulter, was
Al Coulter,
and Dave Nelson.
Yeah.
Charles Lucas.
So Dave
Winkles.
Right. Yeah. Puppeteer, great puppeteer, Brock Winkles, whose brother Garth works with us and is also a great puppeteer. So Dave Nelson had worked for Stan on Monster Squad and I don't think he worked on Predator. Did he work on Pumpkinhead? But Dave had done a lot of stuff, a lot of really great stuff. So Dave so that was that sort of feedback. Steve James,
Steve James, right?
Right.
Who'd worked with me on Nightmare 3.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell us about, from your point of view, what was it like when Stan and company arrived?
Well, Stan just got back from Aliens, I guess, or just around that time, and he bought a brand new Porsche. Do you remember him looking at it?
Had it shipped
from Germany, I think.
Yeah.
From Germany. So he just pulls into my shop. We have these big bay windows and
bay doors.
Bay doors. I'm sorry.
Did he crash through the windows?
He crashed through the window. No, a bay door. And so
Michael Bay doors.
We had them up, and he just thought he would be okay to pull right in. That's a Stan thing, though. He just drove it. He didn't drive it just in a little bit. He drove the entire 3 or 4 car lengths into the thing and kind of screeched. I remember did that whole thing and stopped and got out. Like, hey!
Did he have a cigar in his mouth at the time? I imagine him pushing tables aside and stuff.
And it was the other side of my shop. I happened to see him drive in. But,
right.
I I think everybody else missed it. 'Cause
He was hilarious,
yeah,
right?
Funny.
Yeah,
So he
larger
came
than
in and
life.
He was, when he's impressed by something or if he likes something,
Yeah.
he doesn't hold back. He just,
Yeah.
pours on the, on
Yeah.
the compliments.
Yeah.
He saw my episode I did on Tales from the Crypt called Lower Birth, and had me come over just to talk to me and tell me
Yeah.
how much he liked it.
Yeah.
So it was like, he spent an hour with me just telling me that. So he
Yeah.
was very complimentary. I liked that.
Yeah, that was, and he always admired you because you did get out and go do stuff, and
Yeah.
and he liked that you were directing and doing all that stuff.
Which is what he was doing too.
Yeah, yeah. And so you did Child's Play 1, and you were second unit directing on that?
Yes.
Yeah. Was that your first directing
That was my
gig?
first, directing gig. Yeah.
And then you just put that in
Well,
your
actually, I
contract?
think-
How did you do that?
By the time it was Child's Play 2 actually.
Oh.
Did you say 1?
Yeah, 1.
No, two. I did second unit.
Somebody else was second unit director? On
Child's Play
1?
1, I think so. yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember.
So you were, was the build on 2 significantly more complex
No, in fact, we didn't have a whole lot of money, so
than? You reused a lot.
I reused a lot. Yeah.
Right, but charged them as
Yeah,
if
well,
you.
no, I didn't.
No? Oh,
No, you don't.
sorry.
You're remembering that wrong. See, your memory's failing.
So it's failing. But I'm not the one that's drinking vodka out of a water bottle.
It is water.
Oh, is it?
Yes, I can prove it. Here, have a sip.
Well, I guess all vodka starts as water. So you're hydrated
Build it
now.
here.
So on 1, you had like full servo torso
Yeah, we
and
had,
stuff, right?
several puppets. We had rod puppets, 2 rod puppets, chunky rod puppets. We had 7 heads.
Wow.
I think we had 2 screaming heads, 3 neutral, and a couple others. I can't remember. It's maybe stunt heads or something. And then we had, rod puppets, and then we had a full cable body, which was the most used. That was
Yeah.
the main hero one. And then we had a servo one that we could then put a little tether to. And that was some of the first stuff ever done that way.
Yeah, servo
I
bodies.
brought in a lot of stuff from the Mac and Me film. Those guys are really the group that really made it work.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done it without them, but
Yeah.
I had a lot of input obviously myself, but and then the second one we just used this. Oh, we had a kicking, screaming.
Yeah, that
was
one
a
was,
nice
I love that.
Self-contained.
I remember that.
And
Wow.
that was run off a Makita. Home Makita drill.
Clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, really clever.
So-
And I watched part of Child's Play 1, actually all of them on YouTube. They have great compilations on YouTube.
Okay.
Really nice facial performance on that. Nice, and beats where you're nailing the little expressions and change of expression and stuff. It's really,
When you're doing that, you have to. You got 7 puppeteers. You got 3 guys in the face.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 guys in the face. You got one guy. Al Coulter was the main body. Then you got a guy on each arm, or sometimes one guy would do the arms, and then they had a hand guy, and then the legs and everything else. So you got to tell them, and you know this. I mean, I'm preaching to the choir here.
but they may not.
Yeah, they may not. You've got to break that down. So the director comes and says, "I would like to do X, Y, and Z," and then the puppeteers so many times will just get there. They'll just turn in early rehearsals. They'll just turn.
Yeah.
We did this in Roadhogs, a
Stiff.
film
Yeah.
that we did together,
Right.
and they'll just be stiff. And you have to break it down and say, "No, I need you to do this."
Yeah.
And actually, on our project together, we filmed our faces.
Yeah.
Which I can give you
Right.
footage of.
Yeah.
Filmed our faces, expressions
terrifying.
to help teach.
Yeah.
Show the
Right.
puppeteers what we wanted was the best way to do it. So my favorite of the Child's Play series was Bride of Chucky, because I had 2, male and female. They had to interact, and Jennifer Tilly and Brad Dourif did fantastic voices. I mean, it's beyond voices; they're acting. But we key off of their voices.
And were their dialogue was all pre-recorded?
Pre-recorded.
And were the performances pre-recorded of the dolls? Just the lips.
Just the
Everything else was live all the time.
Yes.
You had the ability to press record if you wanted and play something, or was it?
It was always different because we'd always change, so we kept that live.
Yeah.
In fact, we had the capability of doing the face live too.
Yeah.
I mean, Brock Winkless, who did the mouth, was there every day.
Right.
So, but we pre-recorded because we could get exactly the right word. And I talked about this recently with you, that when you're moving a doll, you've got to go bigger with
You
it.
do.
Because you lose
Gross
expression.
movement kills fine
Yes,
expression.
Yeah. So you have the subtle. So we'd have a subtle version, then we'd have a big version.
Pre-recorded.
Pre-recorded. I think we'd have 3.
But lips only.
Lips only.
So because you wanted the director to be able to direct it, you wanted to be able to work within to keep it alive during the scene, so you're not
and if
pre-recorded.
a puppeteer on the head's moving the head like this, and he's supposed to stop here, and he does this, then the eye guy's got to react and shift his eyes over if he misses.
Did you use the on the 2 and Bride of. Is Bride of 3? Is that what that is?
3.
Bride of Chucky. Is that?
It's the 4th film.
Oh, the 4th. Wow.
Yeah.
How many?
So
how many did you work on?
All 4.
All 4.
Yeah.
There've been others, you know.
2, 3. Yes, I know.
There've been other Alien movies too, that I didn't work on.
Yeah. But it was just talking about that. It's always sad when that happens, like when you're on something, and for whatever reasons, it could be budget, it could be you didn't get don't get along with somebody.
Who knows? Yeah.
But usually it's a budget thing, and sometimes I really tried to make that work out. It just didn't work out.
Yeah.
And the company had changed from Universal to Focus Features. So when it changes hands, they don't understand what you've established.
No.
Why do you get to keep the puppet?
And sometimes it works against you, like on the Tremors pilot that we just didn't get just recently. They were like, we think we want someone else to take a shot at it, right? And then you kind of know that going in, like, well, I'm not really married exactly. I'd like to do something different too, but sometimes it works against you having been involved in it.
Yeah.
So
and there's a sadness to that, but at the same time, things happen.
And it's also interesting to see what other people do with it.
And it opened up for directing for me too. It opened up writing and directing.
Right.
I was able to kind of
So by what, 2, you're the second unit director on Child's Play?
And I think I believe I'd already done The Crypt Keeper.
Oh.
And I think that was the first stuff. Yeah, that was the first stuff I did.
You just cranked stuff out, man.
I did The Crypt Keeper for this guy here.
That's him.
For Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
So I'd built this creature for Joel Silver, Dick Donner, all the Geiler and
Hill
and Walter Hill. And got to direct all his wraparounds, and then I got to do 2 episodes as well. So I got my feet wet doing this. Then I did second unit on Child's Play 2.
Oh, okay.
3 I wasn't as much involved with. I had Van Snow. Do you remember Van?
Yeah.
And he's passed away. Great puppeteer. He was
HR Puff and Stuff. That's right.
In Marty Krofft days. So anyway, so Van kind of took over on the set and did that.
Directed the puppeteers.
Yeah, kind of. And also was the main puppeteer, but and that was when I was less involved with. I come to set from time to time.
Yeah.
And I always regret that because I think I get busy doing other things and you have to be pulled off, and weren't able. When we did our Roadhogs thing together, I wasn't able to apply blow on Johnny Depp, his makeup, but I had V. Neal, which was great.
Right.
Sometimes you can find great replacements.
Right.
But I always regret a little bit not being able to be a part of it and missing out on that experience. So then I came back and did more directing on this.
Yeah, so you had directed your 2 episodes of Tales from the Crypt before Child's Play 3 or 2?
No,
3?
I think I'd done the 2 episodes before 4.
Oh, okay, before 4. And the 2 episodes, Lower Berth. And
Strung Along.
That's right.
O'Connor.
With Donald O'Connor, the dancer.
Yes.
Donald O'Connor.
And Mark Ralston was
Was he?
in Lower Berth.
I see Mark Ralston occasionally.
You do?
I will, if I remember.
Yes.
At the Aliens reunions at some of the conventions and stuff. So we're kind of covering the films that more or less we've worked on together.
Yes.
So there's one more that we worked on together, and never have we worked again. Well, on a project. But it was what? Oh, what is that?
Oh, Starship Troopers.
That's right, Starship Troopers.
This is some of the stuff that I did. I don't have pictures of you, but
so you did human replicas.
Yeah, human replicas and also effects.
Right.
So if someone had their head blown up, I would do that,
right.
or lose some legs. In fact, we worked together on one effect where your arachnid warrior pinched one of my guys in half.
Right.
And we held it together with electromagnets.
Yeah.
And it was all timed together.
Yeah. It's pretty cool back then, wasn't it?
Kind of nice.
Yeah.
Here's another shot of that.
We also sucked brains out of the.
Yes. That's right.
And you had the whole withering effect. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Those are some of the most beautiful fake heads I've ever seen. In fact, your fake heads are beautiful. There's one right there.
That is cool.
Mr. Christian Slater. Just bring it into the 4K zone. But that's Christian Slater.
This was a head I did from Wind Talkers. It actually gets cut out of the film. But I guess it was used, but just not. It was filmed, but they just didn't use the same.
But so just to sort of wrap up this segment, because we have to have time to walk through your fantastic studio. So anyway, what we've talked about a lot in the past is how we got into this as kids for the same reasons, to have fun, and we've kind of been through the arc of being beat up by the industry and being very successful,
Yes.
doing great stuff and having
It's
a
been a fun
blast.
ride, yeah.
Yeah, and now we're back to a point where we're saying, how do we have fun again? How do we have it?
Right.
And that's what this channel is about
Yeah.
for
Having
me.
fun.
Yeah, having fun. And Tom feels the same way. How do we like find that fun again?
And sharing stories, and
Yeah.
it's so great, and being creative still.
Being creative
Yeah.
and sharing it directly with an audience,
Yeah.
the fans who are so appreciative
Yeah.
of all this stuff. A lot of times more appreciative than the producers that walk through, while they're doing, texts on their phone and not really paying attention. Anyway, it's a nice place to be, and thank you for taking the journey with me in reality and with the fans in virtual reality. Shall we go look through your studio?
Let's do.
Okay.